If you're collecting form submissions and then manually turning that data into PDF, emails, invoice, or reports, you're doing the extra work you don't need to be doing. Jotform's PDF editor lets you automatically convert every form submission into a clean professional document and send it to the right people instantly. No code, no copy pasting, and no manual follow-up. So let me show you how right now. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Jotform. On this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Jotform PDF editor from beginner to advanced. So if you don't know how to use it, this is the video that you want to watch. Now, what is the PDF editor used for? Well, let's just say that we are building a form to sell a product. You can generate a PDF that's an invoice for that product that you just sold. The beauty about this is that we're able to customize that PDF to look really beautiful for our customers. Or what about if from a submission, you are generating a certificate for someone that won a prize? Well, you can generate that PDF certificate, a really nice one that will be automatically sent to the user that filled out the form. And there's several use cases for this purpose, and I'm going to show you how to use it right now. So we are now located in our main Jotform workspace, and we're going to get started with a demo form that I have right here. In this case, I'm going to get started with a previous form that I've built. So in this case, I'm going to use this one, expense reimbursement form, and I'm going to edit this form. And there's several ways to kick off the PDF editor. I'm going to show you one of the ways that you can do so when you are inside the form builder. Now, once you are here, we can click on the top menu here, and there's a PDF editor icon right here. I'm going to select this, and this is going to take me to the PDF editor. So that's one of the ways. I'll show you different ways that you can do this in the video. So right now we are located in the PDF editor. So from that form, it automatically brought in the elements from a previous submission. So you can see right here, we are viewing 5 out of 5 submissions. If I click on the back arrow right here, it takes me to different submissions. So in this case, this one's filled out with demo data, and it helps me understand how the PDF is going to look. So in this case, I'll be able to customize every aspect of this PDF. For example, if I click on the form title right here, I can go ahead and change this right now to something else. For example, I'll just type in test, and that will change it. I can click on the gear icon, and I'll get more settings too. For example, this is a text that is displaying on the PDF. I can change the font family for this particular element that I have selected. For example, something a bit more fun like Comic Sans. I can change the font size straight from here, something a bit bigger. The font style, maybe some metallic, maybe some underline, remove the bold. And just to give you an example of changes that you can make right here, we can change the color, the alignment, and subheading style. So if I want to show a subheading text, I can do so right here and type in what I need to display on the subheading. So it's super easy and practical to customize the PDF. Let me go ahead and remove this right now, just for testing purposes. And I have the settings for the subheading right here. Now, you can see how easy it is to change one of these elements. If I don't want to display this element, I can go ahead and delete it. If I want to bring it back, I can hit Command C or Control C to undo the changes that I've just made. Now, on the left, we are able to view all the elements available that we can bring inside of the PDF. Why is this useful? Well, we can display more information, not just the one provided from the form. Right now, we are currently viewing the details from the form inside of the PDF editor. For example, the title from the form, the date from the form submission, the details from employee and what was filled out, and that same applies for each one of the elements. So we got the details that were filled out, but we can beautify this by adding more text. For example, maybe we need to add a disclaimer on the bottom. We'll bring in some text and add the details right here. So it's super easy and practical to add a disclaimer. For example, disclaimer, I'm gonna say this, and we have that brand new text right here. So it's easy. How about adding a heading, or how about an image? Well, let's add an image here on the top to make it look a bit nicer. And I'm going to add it right about here. Okay, I'm going to select it. I'm going to click on the gear icon, and on the right, I have the option to upload a photo from my desktop. I can view my images that I've previously uploaded, so something might be useful for me. In this case, I'm just going to use this one for testing purposes, and I'm going to select it. Now, aside from that option, there's also the option to enter a URL. So if you know the link that you want to use for the image, it is possible via URL. So it's up to you if you want to use this. Now, I can also resize by just dragging and dropping right here. So it's easy and practical to make changes for the image, in this case, in any of the elements here. So I can go ahead and change the size and move it around if needed. So that applies for all of the elements added right here. Now on the left, we have way more elements. There's empty boxes, there's the box option, there's page break, there's the form title, submission date. Now currently we are viewing the submission date right here. If you don't want to display the submission date, just go ahead and remove it. That might be useful for certain use cases, but having the option is super useful to have it removed or be used. Okay, and if you want to bring it back, just add the submission date right here. There's also a submission ID, which is unique to all the submissions, which might be useful for certain purposes. For example, if you want to keep track of each one of the submissions, there's the ID that would be unique. And again, it might be useful for certain purposes. Okay, there's also the submission IP, again, also useful for different purposes. Now, currently I've added some elements and it added a new page. Let's just say that I haven't added a new page. Let's go ahead and remove this. What if I need to add a new page to the PDF? So there's 2 pages, 3 pages, or 4 pages. Just go down here and click on add a new page. This will give us a brand new page to add details. And I'm just gonna add some simple text right here just for testing purposes. I'm gonna keep it simple just to give you an idea that you can add several pages to this. Now, what about the header and footer of the pages? If I hover over the header, there's an option that says add header. I'm going to click on this option and I can go ahead and add details to the header right here. For example, I can say test, I can add images, I can change the font family, the colors, the style. For example, I'm going to insert one of my images right here, and I'm going to select this one right here, just to give you an idea of what is possible. Let me go ahead and remove the text so we have the logo now displayed. I can add some text, more elements into the header, and I got all the available details right here, including a table to customize and beautify the header. Now, once I'm good to go, I am going to save the header, and the header should be available in every single page that we create. For example, it's now on the 2nd page. And if I add a 3rd page, that will be available too. So it's super easy and practical to add the header. Let me go ahead and remove this since I'm not going to need it. So it's super easy to remove elements that you're not going to use. Now that is for the header feature. What about the footer? Well, that is possible too to customize right here. Just go ahead and click on the footer, and this is going to open up the section where we can customize the footer. So in this case, I'm just gonna say footer test. Again, I can add fonts, I can change the sizing, I can add images, I can paint the footer, I can add a table, and there's several available options. The beauty about this is that when you change the footer, that will apply to every single page in the PDFs that are going to be generated. So it's super easy to add and customize the header and footer with the Jotform PDF Editor. Now on the left, we have the basic elements, which I've shown a bit here. Then we have the form fields. These form fields are the available ones from the form that we created. This will be unique depending on the form that you've built. So if you have different form fields, those will be displayed right here. Now these will be useful if you want to add them in the next page right here. For example, the employee name, in case, for example, the 2nd page might be a certificate. The 1st page would be like the details from the form submission, and the next one could be a certificate or an invoice. So depending how you want to use these, they will become useful. For example, job title, departments, phone numbers, all of the details from the form fields will be available to drag and drop inside of here to start using right away. So it's practical depending on your use case. Now that's just a quick overview of how you can use the basic elements, the form fields, and how to customize the main page. What about creating a secondary PDF for a different purpose? So as I mentioned, you can have an invoice, a certificate. Well, we can create new ones for each one of those. On the top, there's a tab that says new PDF. I can go ahead and select this, and I can create one from the use default layout. And that default layout will be the main one, the default one that's created with the elements that we've seen already. So you can see here that it's a brand new document with those details. Or how about a template? Click on a new PDF, use a template, and there's several available templates for invoices, for certificates, and depending on your use case, we'll be able to use these. For example, how about a certificate? Let's go ahead and use this one right here. And it's already looking nice. I can go ahead and just customize each one of these by replacing the image with the image I want to use. For example, in this case, what if I want to use an image I previously used? Let's go ahead and select one. Let's go ahead and use this one just for testing purposes. And you can go ahead and replace the details that you need right here. And for example, right here, the certificate is awarded to, and this, let me go ahead and remove this right now. And it's going to be awarded to the employee name right here. So let me go ahead and drag it inside of here. Now I have the option to customize this. For example, I'm going to make this bigger because it's just way too small. Let's do a 30 too much. Let's do 24. let's go ahead and select it. Let's go into the gear icon. We can change the enter text. So in this case, there's no need for entering text. So I'm going to remove that. That is brought from the form field. We just want to display the name right here, and we want to have a center alignment. We can go ahead and change the color to make it a bit beautiful here. Let's go ahead and change it really quickly. Again, this is just for testing purposes, but you can see how this could be useful. Now, when the form is filled out, this is going to be automatically generated. Now, can we send this out automatically? Yes, we can. There's several more options that I want to show you. For example, if I want to jump into the form, if I need to edit something before I finish off the PDF editor, I can view the form, I can assign the form, and I can edit the form. Editing the form will take me to the form builder, where I can continue editing the form fields. If I need to send this out right now, I can do so by entering the email, setting up a message, and that will send out the PDF. And this can be useful if you've built the PDF after you made some submissions and you want to send those out manually. This could be a good option right here. You can print this, so you can go ahead and print it right now. You can download it. So if you need to download the actual PDF, you can download all the PDFs. So that saves you a lot of time. Now, before I continue to how to send these out, let me show you how to beautify the overall look of the PDF. On the right, there's a PDF designer. I'm going to click on this and we can change the layout. We are on the layout tab right now. You can change the size. So for example, right now, this is a letter size. If I use a certificate, is the other size. So there's several available options to change the size. The orientation right now is portrait. I can change it to landscape. The page color right now, it has a grayish background. I can change it. I can change the image. You can see how it makes a quick change right here to something that might look better than what we're using right now. So I like this one right here, and I would customize the header so the logo is not in the way, but you can make those changes with calm. Now on the right, there's more options. There's color options. There's the top and bottom alignment. So if you want to provide more alignment, you can do so right here. And those changes are going to be reflected. You can see how those update here. Same thing goes with the left, with the top, the bottom, and it's just super easy to customize this right here. Then you have the position to change it. So there's several available options to customize the layout. Then we have the element style. You got the font for the general question style right here. You can change the color, the sizing, the font style, the text color, the text alignment. So it's super easy and practical. And the answer style can be changed too. Then we have the templates. There's several available templates that we can use just by selecting it, and it'll automatically reflect over here. If you want to create a blank template, that is possible to use in the future for different forms that you want to build to have the PDF editor use that template. So it's practical to use in that sense. Now, once you're good to go, you want to actually preview this. Let's go ahead and preview this, and you can view the PDF right here. That's how it's going to display. Jump out of the preview, and here we go. Now let's go ahead and jump over to the form. Let's go into the form editor, and this will take us to the form builder for this particular PDF that we were working on. We're going to jump into the settings tab, and on the left, we have the emails option. We're going to send, for example, the notification. Let's go ahead and edit the notification. We're going to go into the advanced option, and we're going to attach PDF. Let's select the PDFs that we want to attach. In this case, I'm going to attach all of these, but it's just super easy to do this. We can go ahead and edit each one of these PDFs if we need to customize them. For example, that PDF is tied to the certificate, and I do recommend that we update this name so we locate the certificate. Just click on this option. Let's go to rename, and we're going to name this to certificate. Okay, that way we can locate it really easily in this section. Now that will reflect once we update, and we know that we're going to select the certificate, so we can select what PDFs we want to send out, save email, and now when the form is submitted, it's going to send out those PDFs automatically. So you can send out an invoice, a certificate, whatever you want to send out via PDF, which is useful and practical. Now, what about downloadable PDF to use offline? Yes, that is possible too, and that excites me a lot because it's really useful. In the Publish tab over here on the top, there's an option on the left that says Downloadable Fillable PDF. Let's go ahead and select this, and we are going to download. In the download option, this is going to give us a view of the fillable PDF right here that can be downloaded. And here we go. This is a fillable PDF that we can download and use offline. Now, if you want to customize this, that is possible. Right now, it's set on preview PDF. So let's go ahead and turn this off, and we're able to customize this PDF too. In this case, I'm not going to do it because I've shown you already on a different PDF tab, but it's super easy to customize everything. Okay, let's go back into the preview. Let's go ahead and download this one right now, and we can go ahead and open this up in offline mode and start filling it out right now. Let's go ahead and save. Let's go ahead and open up this PDF right now. And I'm able to fill it out right now offline. So you can see it's super easy to edit the PDF offline. Now, if you want to have this submitted, you can use via Adobe Acrobat Reader. So it's super easy and practical to use the offline form mode. Now, there's a few settings that I want to show you here. Let's jump out of Preview PDF. On the top, we have a few settings for this PDF. On the top, we have the build section where we can customize the PDF as I showed you before. We have the settings for this option, and we got the form settings for this particular one. For example, I can change the title right here really easily by customizing it. For example, I'll remove the form from the title, and it's really easy. The form status, it is currently enabled. We can go ahead and set this as disabled if you want to turn it off in case someone has the link or someone got access to it by mistake. You can go ahead and disable it right now. You can disable on specific date. So for example, if you want to turn this off after the end of the month, the year, etc., it is possible by setting a specific date and it will automatically disable. All right. Then we have the disable at submission limits. For example, if this has been submitted 100 times, you can go ahead and set that limit right here and it won't be fillable anymore. So you can set the amount of submissions right here and you can set a warning message once that submission limit hits. So it's a good option if it's useful for your use case. And there's also the option to disable on specific date and submission limits. So both of these can be one or the other to work as the stop date, disable date in this case. Then you can also encrypt the form data. So to give it an extra layer of security, you can encrypt it right here. Then we have show more options. For example, we can set a form warning right here. I can edit this and there's several warnings here for the fields when they are not filled out. Each one of these can be customizable really easily to customize the warnings right here. Let's go ahead and save changes and we're good to go. Then we have the send emails after submission. Just like you saw on the form builder to edit the notifications, that is possible to do so right here too. So you can do this straight from here. We can change the email content, the recipients, and the advanced options straight from here. Then there's also integrations if you want to integrate the PDF with different third-party apps. So it's really practical. Then we have the publish option for this one. Again, you got the downloadable PDF, which we saw already. You could download it from here or from here. You got your quick share options. You can share it via a link. You can send it over via email. You can create an AI agent from this PDF. We can share the form via QR code or by social media right here. And we can also create an app from this PDF. So there's several available options. And there's third-party platforms to publish too. For example, WordPress, Shopify, Wix, Canva. And there's just so many settings available right here that makes the PDF editor here on Jotform really powerful. So remember, if you need to send out a PDF after a form submission, either to send an invoice, an email, a certificate, or any other type of PDF, it's really practical to do so with Jotform PDF. So what are you waiting for? Sign up right now for Jotform and start building your forms and create the PDFs that are going to be sent out after the form submission. So don't forget that this is really powerful, it's secure, and it's also HIPAA compliant and GDPR compliant too. So you got everything that you're going to need here on Jotform. So I hope you like this video. Please let me know here in the comments what you think about the PDF editor and what you would like to see in the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification to get notified when new videos come out. And that's a wrap.